Hey fellow Lego folks, welcome to this, a Lego haul and a bit of a random video. The berry hair thing I'll explain in a bit. For the Lego haul, this is a package from Tesco Direct. So I've been wanting to get a few things. There's some sets that I really will regret not getting if I don't buy them now. So first set, this is the new set. This wasn't the set that I really regret, but I like the look anyway. It's an ambulance plane, nice little addition. But the main reason for this haul was the Space City, the Lego City Space Shuttle, space launch pad thing. I would have regretted not getting that. This is my first space shuttle for Lego, so that's an addition, which is really good. So now on to the next thing. The berry hair. So a friend pointed out an article, it's actually on the Poke. I'm not going to put a link to it, it's not the most family friendly site, but it had some pictures of a Lego minifigure with a raspberry on its head, and pointed out how it made a good hairdo. So in the interest of Lego research, I've got my own raspberry. If we look, that's the minifigure with a raspberry on. But I thought, well, is there any other fruit that you can get away with adding onto a minifigure to possibly allow them to have a slightly more interesting hairstyle? Maybe you're tired of the caps and the fixed hairdos, so what else? You can put a raspberry there. But you can also, well, the raspberry's the easiest one. And here I've got the Witch King of Angmar to help me with this one. A grape. We'll see if the grape works with this particular thing. I had to cut it, certainly. It does take a bit of prep work, but I think you'll see that the grape kind of works. It does work. It's a bit more work than the raspberry. The raspberry sits quite nicely. This had to be cut away slightly differently. We'll see if he can stand up as well. Quite a heavy load, and I think for the next one I'll use my X-Wing pilot, Star Wars X-Wing pilot. He volunteered for the next one. I think we'll go for the blueberry. Now the blueberry was the most difficult, I think, due to the fact that firstly it has to be big enough, and secondly it has to be cut out a bit, but it does kind of work. So it's a slightly more interesting look. And finally, the big daddy of all. I'm gonna have to move this here. We'll see why. For this next part, we have the Egyptian volunteering. And the final piece of fruit is the strawberry. Now this is a big strawberry, but if you see, it does just about work. Just about works there. It's a bit too heavy for him to stand up on his own, but as long as he's leaning against the wall, I reckon he can get away with it. I reckon that works. I reckon that's a good look. The real bonus about doing this is you end up with loads of fruit, and you start eating healthily. I was going to try it with a blackberry, but the blackberries are just too difficult. There's no way of cutting that, and that would just be too messy. So raspberry, strawberry, grape and blueberry. So there you have a Lego haul, a completely random thing on which pieces of fruit would work as hair pieces for Lego minifigures. So thanks for watching this, if you're still watching it. Awesome. Click like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to see more. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!